I think for one, if I can even just maybe very briefly describe the physical space. Before this, the entire installation was in the basement of the museum, and it was like literally in the walkway before you get to the bathroom. So it was in that little basement, and so even for me, it was a largely informational process, understanding the problematics of having something labeled Congo people as a marker, and then really coming to understand how the valuing of these objects is key, not only for their understanding but ours as well. I think also when I think about the question of how then do you curate African art, African artifacts, I'm not even sure. That's a big question, I guess, that we will eventually fully understand. But for them, I guess the convention being that this was purely geographical, and then in their rethinking it, then making it like in more conversations about how it was used. I think that was interesting for me as a possibility of different ways of curating art. I'm not sure, I think it's important to them. I think for me, I wasn't sure whether it's important to us. Yeah, I feel like those were my takeaways. And then, of course, on issues of provenance, just really understanding the gaps, all the questions around, like, why is this a gift? How are these objects actually received? Where were they got from? And then also the question, I think there's a very big question about the ethics of something and the legality of something, and I feel like that's a big loophole that a lot of governments are now finding ways around, is that the ethics of this is that this was taken, but the legality of it is that because there were no rules around it, then what is our actual responsibility towards it?
You can't retroactively apply rules.
Yes.
History is history.
History is history in quotes.
Okay.